Bhutan is a small, landlocked country located in southern Asia between Tibet and India. The topography of the country can be divided into different regions from north to south based on altitude: the Great Himalaya, the Inner Himalayas and the southern foothills. The Great Himalayas are a mountain range that stretches from Mount Chomolhari, 7,314 meters in the west to Kulha Gangri, 7,554 meters near the center of the northern border between Tibet and Bhutan. Due to the elevation of the highest summits, 20 of the area is covered perpetually by snow. The rest of the region is characterized by alpine meadows. The Inner Himalayas are the largest geographical region in Bhutan. They are characterized by broad valleys and forested hillsides, and the majority of major towns in Bhutan including Paro, Thimphu and Punakha are located here. The southern foothills, also known as the Himalayan foothills, are located in the southern part of the country. The average rainfall here is quite high, reaching up to 200 inches. As a result of this rain, the southern foothills are known for lush vegetation and tropical forests. These forests are full of diverse wildlife, and days here can get very hot. Rivers are also very important to Bhutan's geography because they are a source of hydroelectric power. Due to the monsoon season that the country experiences, rivers and valleys here are wider than in Nepal and India.
Next comes the country's demographics, with over 750,000 people living in one of the last great Himalayan kingdoms. They're seeing a lot of people from both the north and west, and the Sharkops from the east, both making up to 63% of the population. Then there's the Loshampa, consisting mostly of Hindus and some animists, making up to 22%, with the indigenous and tribal groups completing the rest of the percentage population. Enveloped in mystery and mysticism, this country is huge in diversity plus its women empowerment. Go feminism! Jonga Shangla Gongduk Lokpu Brakpa Braka Lepcha Laka Laya Kams Bumtam Keng Kurtup Zala Dakpa Groman Yen Chali Toto Oli. What's this? It's all the language they speak, people. With only 18 people living per square kilometer, this country might have one of the lowest population density, but it has the highest language intensity there is.
Now let's get into a quick history on Bhutan. By 1500 BC, people lived in Bhutan by herding animals. In the 7th century AD, Buddhism was introduced into Bhutan. In the 8th century, an Indian named Padmasambhava did much to encourage Buddhism in Bhutan. Ever since, Buddhism has been an integral part of the culture of Bhutan. However, for centuries, the people of Bhutan were disunited. Then in 1616, Nawang Namgyal became the spiritual leader of Bhutan. He took the title Jabdrung Rinpoche. Under him, Bhutan became a united country. Nawang Namgyal also divided the government of Bhutan into spiritual and secular. The Jabdrung was the spiritual leader, while a person called the Desi ran the secular administration. Meanwhile, in 1627 two Portuguese Jesuit priests became the first Europeans to visit Bhutan. Bhutan first made a treaty with the British in 1774. However, Britain and Bhutan quarreled over the Duas, which is the lowest hills of Bhutan. War finally broke out in 1864. After the war, the British took the Duas. In 1907, Ugyen Wangchuck was elected king of Bhutan. Then in 1910, Bhutan and Britain signed a treaty. Britain agreed not to interfere in Bhutan's internal affairs as long as the Bhutanese accepted British advice on its external relations. In the 1960s, Bhutan ended its isolation. Bhutan joined the Universal Postal Union in 1969 and joined the UN in 1971. Meanwhile, the King of Bhutan introduced several reforms, although he was keen to preserve Bhutanese traditions. The king created the National Assembly and the Royal Bhutanese Army. In 1999, satellite TV was allowed in Bhutan for the first time. Then in the early 21st century, Bhutan became a democratic country. In 2005, the king unveiled a new constitution. The first democratic elections for parliament were held in 2008. Today Bhutan is an overwhelmingly agricultural country. Any industry is a cottage industry. In 2020, the population of Bhutan was 758,000.
Fun facts about Bhutan. It is the smallest Asian country and has a population of 750,000 people. This country is also known as the Land of Thunder Dragon because the country sees so many lightning storms, as a portion of Bhutan is located in the Himalayan mountains. And the Thunder Dragon is also called Jong, which is the national symbol appearing on their flag. This is the only country that the forest absorbs more carbon dioxide than the country even produces, which caused the people of Bhutan to be the biggest environmentalists on the planet.
Bhutan have a really large amount of renewable energy, which caused them to have more electricity than they needed, and much of it were actually exported. The government had completely banned the use of tobacco. No one is allowed to smoke, including tourists or even citizens, making it the only country that banned people from smoking. Many people had labeled Bhutan as the least developed country in Asia, while it actually comes first in economic freedom, ease of doing business and peace, and also is second in per capita income from all in Southeast Asia.
Bhutan debunked. The Kingdom of Bhutan. Heard of it before? Probably not. The one well-behaved kid in a class full of brats who unfortunately still has to stay for after-school detention.
Sandwiched between the two most populous countries in the world, India and China, Bhutan is small by comparison. And no, it's not a monastery.
But that's not all they've got going for them. They're known as the happiest country in the world, though it is a bit more complicated than that.
What is happiness, according to Bhutan at least?
Sustainable and equitable socio-economic development, environmental conservation, preservation and promotion of culture, and of course, good governance.
Bhutan also has the lowest rate of corruption in all of South Asia.
Bhutan is praised for measuring their happiness over their economy.
In 2015, they surveyed only about 0.9% of their population to calculate their GNH. That sounds like stats manipulation to me.
The philosophy of the GNH is to be satisfied with what you have. And while the GNH placed Bhutan on the map, it became a brand that Bhutan simply could not live up to.
On the contrary to traditional beliefs, Bhutan's inheritance laws favor older daughters as recipients of her parents' wealth. Even more so, a son-in-law is expected to move into his wife's childhood home and live with her parents.
Despite being a tiny country, its efforts are anything but. Bhutan prides itself on being environmentally conscious, remaining carbon negative, going so far as to subsidizing electric car sales and paying for electricity of their farms to discourage wood burning.
Bhutan is developing very rapidly. However, these positive developments come with major environmental issues, which include waste management issues, pollution, population growth, and deforestation. Waste management issues mainly rise in Gyeoks or villages due to lack of education. Contributors to poor air quality include the construction of industry, vehicle emissions, wood burning stoves, and the burning of household and farm waste. Pollution levels can increase during the winter due to heating from homes. The population of Bhutan is approximately 770,000 and is gradually increasing. The higher the population, the more land is needed for cultivation and construction of houses for survival. Many trees are cut down and burned in rural areas to be used for agriculture. After its decline in productivity, the method is done again in another plot of land, which may cause soil infertility. As a result, there will be no proper sustainable development for the future.